Hey everyone, it's Rob Foglia and Jessica Klein with Foglia Properties at Keller Williams here in Nashville, and we're coming to you today to talk about for sale by owners. And you can see the title of the video: "Friends Don't Let Friends FSBO." And so I'm excited to talk about this. Are you ready to get started, Jessica?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a really interesting conversation because I think there's a really, there are a lot of people who are tempted to for sale by owner right now, right? We've heard of a few people, even just, who are connected to our network. And I'd love to hear what some of those conversations went like.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the reasons. That's actually one of the catalysts as to why we decided to do this video today. Because we're not coming today to give you some of those random statistics that real estate agents throw out at for sale by owners. And this is not a shot at anybody who's decided to sell their home on their own. And we totally get why somebody would want to do that. I mean, they in their minds they're thinking, hey, maybe I can make more money doing it this way instead of hiring a professional. And the reality is, and what we're seeing in today's market is there's a lot of dangers there. And for one, really, I guess there's probably two parts to the equation. For one, let's just start talking about what the process looks like to find a buyer right now. Does that sound good, Jessica?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, so if I were a for sale by owner, probably my first move would be get pictures, right? So take some
Yeah,
good
well,
pictures.
they're going to get pictures, and then they're
Yep.
also
And
going
then
to
put it
their home
online
property.
somewhere.
Yeah, and they could put it on Facebook Marketplace. They may put it up on Zillow. There's a couple of different sites they could put it on. But it almost reminds me, because what ends up happening for a lot of for sale by owners, even in today's market, where like take FSBOs out of the equation for a minute, Jessica, what's happening on all of our listings? Like multiple offers
Yep.
and
Yep.
sales prices well above asking price, even when a home is priced correctly, like not underpriced, like priced correctly. Homes are selling for, like, gosh, we saw one yesterday for literally 18% above our asking price,
Yep.
that we closed on.
Yeah, and another one of our listings had something like 38 showings within the first 12 hours or something
Yeah,
crazy like that. Yeah,
it really is crazy. That's the type of seller's market that we're in right now, and yet for sale by owners not seeing those results. And so when a home goes up on Facebook Marketplace or Zillow, nothing wrong with those sites, except it's procuring one buyer instead of dozens of buyers. And just think back to the basic laws of supply and demand, Jessica. If you increase demand on something, what happens to the price?
it's gonna go up. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. And like, let's even take real estate out of the equation for a minute. Like, as y'all know, I'm a guitar fan, and without going into too many details about guitars, and that's not what this is about. If I was say selling a guitar and it was somewhat of a unique guitar, just like we could say about real estate, it's each home can be unique for what somebody's looking for, and in our market, it's just like a guitar could be unique and maybe a one-off that's out there. A house can feel like a one-off in today's market. Well, if I just posted a guitar up on Facebook Marketplace, I'm going to have one buyer interested, even if it's multiple at a time. I got one buyer competing against themselves, basically, and I'm trying to negotiate with one person. And yet, if I post that guitar up on eBay, I could literally have dozens of people submitting bids on that guitar, which is ultimately going to lead to a higher price for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's true. And a big part of that is, when you put something up on Zillow or on Facebook Marketplace, it's immediately available for people to look at and make offers on as soon as they see it. And when you work with someone who does this for a living and who has access to additional systems, we can build up that anticipation. And there's a timeline where so you have all of these people looking at it, right, and ready to write an offer, and they're aware of each other. And then when it actually comes on the market, everybody's competing with each other, like you said. So you get back
Exactly.
to the bidding war.
Exactly. It's just like selling something on eBay. If you have a unique good or something that's up on eBay, you're going to have multiple people interested in multiple bids, and that's going to drive the price up versus one buyer that shows up at a garage sale or at Facebook Marketplace and says, "Hey, maybe they'll give you that price even." And that's what we're seeing with for sale by owners, is that they're getting the price that they're asking for. And so even if, which they may feel like is a win, and if there's no real estate agent involved, they may be thinking, "Hey, I saved real estate commission," which is great. Except the reality is, what we're seeing, our results are seeing, is we're outperforming what real estate commission is on top of the sale.
By far. Yeah.
Yeah, by far. Like, the one that we just mentioned before, that sold for, literally $70,000 above our asking price. And that's one that we've closed on. We have another one that I won't give too many details, so it's still pending, and yet it's $26,000 above the asking price of the home. That's going to be more than the real estate commission is on that. And so that seller is making more money than if they did it on their own and just accepted the asking price of the property. And that's what we're seeing with for sale by owners. They may stick a price on there and go, hey, I think my home is worth X, and they take X and they're happy with that. And yet with multiple buyers, it can be X plus 15%, which is a lot more than a real estate commission is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for absolutely. And now, so that's the first part of the equation, or the first difference. Now, you mentioned there's a second one, and I have a feeling I know what it is.
Well, yeah.
And go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, it's basically what I've found, and this goes for everything in life, but especially when you're doing something for the first time and doing something you don't do on a regular basis, is oftentimes people don't know what they don't know until they learn what they don't know. And at that point, it can be too late. And that's the case for somebody selling their home on their own. So say they're trying to sell their home on their own. They accept an offer on a property, they're excited about it, but yet they don't know what what the fine print is in a contract, so to speak. They don't know what a special stipulation is. They don't know what the appraisal contingency actually means. Things along those lines that they could very well be running into hurdles and running into brick walls that they don't know how to climb over because they don't do it every day for a living. Like for instance, we'll give an example. We had a listing that we closed on recently that appraised for $10,000 less than the contract price. And yet, because we were thinking about this ahead of time, we were representing the sellers, and we negotiated into the contract that the buyers were going to make up the difference if the property didn't appraise. And so the sellers didn't have to come out of pocket $10,000 or lose the buyer. The buyers had to come out of pocket to make up the difference.
Yeah.
And most for sale by owners aren't going to know either that option even exists, let alone how to execute that option. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think the really important thing about that example and about so many others we could give is, we know that people are smart and that they can read through a contract and understand what it means. But what you're talking about is a situation where none of that is actually written in the contract. It's
Mhm.
just us having experience and knowing what the repercussions of the contract outline is.
Yeah, yeah. Like and just to give you an example, without pulling up a contract, that appraisal section of our contract basically just says that the buyer can get out of the contract within 3 days if the home doesn't appraise. It doesn't really say anything about renegotiating. It doesn't say about, well, what can you do proactively to protect yourself as a seller. And so those are things that we can do to help solve problems before they even become problems, and in ways where we can help you make more money. And that's why we wanted to do this video, to let you know that even though the market is strong, even though if somebody posted their home up for sale by owner on Zillow today, they very well could have so many people reaching out to them. That does not mean that it's going to end well for you. It doesn't mean it's going to end with the way that's going to put the most amount of money in your pocket. And that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, because in the end, that's really what we're here for, is to make sure that well, first, that all of our buyers and sellers are protected. And second, that they end up with, if you're a seller, with more money in your pocket, and if you're a buyer, that you're buying a home on the right terms
Well,
that
yeah.
work for your situation.
Well, exactly. And what I've found just because I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of for sale by owners in my career, what I've found is that the vast majority of them, probably 95%, if not more of them, they're just trying to save the commission. And I get it. They want to, and what that means is they want to make as much from the sale. And I get it. I mean, they just, anybody who watches their money wants to make the smartest financial decisions. And I totally get that. And yet at the same time, what we're seeing is it's not the most financially beneficial way to do things. And so at the very least, if you're watching this video and you're interested in this, or thinking of selling your home on your own, and or maybe you know somebody who is, at the very least, reach out to us. Let us give you a second opinion. Then decide what makes the most sense. You may decide you want to keep going for sell by owner. That is your call. More power to you. And yet at the same time, I'm confident that we can help you make more money.
And that's one thing we didn't talk about. The beauty of this is, if you'd like to go for sale by owner, it's completely free to talk to us and hear what the strategy is. It's even completely free for you to go all the way through to us putting it on market and getting offers. You do not need to accept any of the offers that come to you.
Yeah.
Totally free. There, you have no risk involved aside from a little extra time. And you could
Exactly.
end up with thousands, tens of thousands more in your pocket in the end.
Exactly. Like we don't make any money on from working with somebody until we get to the closing table. So meaning until everything comes into place and the puzzle pieces fit together, and and you sign on the dotted line, so to speak, at the end that says, hey, I'm selling this property to the Smiths, John and Jane Smith, then yeah, at that point, we've earned that commission. And at that point, you'll have seen the numbers, and you'll have seen, hey, does it make sense to take this offer? And again, I'm confident that based on the market that we're in, the best way to do it is at least talk to us.
Yep.
So,
and that's the next step. So if you're thinking about it, please start the conversation. We'd love to hear from you.
Exactly. Also, reach out to us. You can call us 615-591-5665. Email us info@foliaproperties.com. You can comment on this post if you're seeing it live. If you're getting it through email, then respond to this email, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. But again, we're seeing so much demand with the limited supply that's out there that prices really are going up, just literally at that. They could be selling for 10 or 18% more than asking, and y'all take advantage of that market. Don't short sell yourself because you're worried about having a 30-minute conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. All right. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
Bye.